What's up, gang? I wanted to do a little piece on a conversation I was having with a coach the other day. Who's an intern coach that we have here at Reebok CrossFit One, and she was talking about how she was afraid to do something, and really, in turn, limiting her ability to actually do it. And what I talked to her about, and something that really hit home with me, and I don't know if I ever really understood it until this conversation, was the difference between emotions and actions. I think in this day and age, we fall into this trap of, it's okay to feel any way you feel, or, all this like sort of nice, fluffy, foo-foo stuff. And I do think there's obviously value to feeling emotions. Trust me, I went through a lot of therapy and therapeutic boarding school. More to come later on down the line in some episodes about my life story. So I understand emotions and the power of, but I also understand the power of emotions, and emotions are not actions. Imagine if all you ever did was act on your emotions. Think about it for a minute. You'd either probably be in jail, not with the person you're with, pushing away a lot of people, embarrassing yourself. Emotions are manifestations of feelings and interactions you have with others, with yourself, and with your environment. And with that said, we then need to have rational thought, introspection, and reflection, and then we act. So what I was talking about with this intern, and on a very much higher level, was, hey, don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Don't let this fear. It's okay to be afraid. And another thing is like, I'm afraid of nothing. It's like, bullshit, you probably are, right? You've never been nervous for something you didn't care about, right? I don't care what other people think of me. You're lying. Of course, there's whether you care about what people think of you, you care about what you think people think about you. Like this is back and forth. Of course you do. But we can't let it 100% dictate our actions. So if you're afraid to coach a class, good. That means you care about it, which means maybe you'll prepare a little more. But if you let that fear paralyze you and not act, you will do nothing. You will amount to nothing. The fear then needs to motivate you to prepare, then to be a little less nervous to coach. Let it create positive action as opposed to negative inaction, right? And I think that it's one of those things where allow the world to happen around you, allow your emotions to happen, but don't let them dictate your actions. If you let your emotions and your feelings dictate your actions, you are a weak person. And unfortunately, I think more and more, for some reason, there's this dialogue out there that states that we need to just, however you feel is okay. No, it's not. Okay, there are certain things that are personal. These emotions, like I have a lot of internal self-dialogue. I don't create those into action. I'll have a really healthy conversation with someone I trust and care about my actions, about my feelings that created those actions. And I'm not always proud of how what my internal thought process is, but I believe it's healthy to talk about it. But also in turn, making sure my actions are appropriate and are healthy for myself and those around me. Bringing this back to coaching, to athletics, you hear it 1,000 times, and I really believe it just boils down to something very simple. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. You wake up tired, well, you're gonna let and then you feel sorry for yourself. Then you start feeling, oh, maybe I should rest because my body's telling me I should rest, or whatever it is, right? You feel embarrassed because you might not succeed on a goal. You feel, the fear of failure, the feel of whatever it might be. And I said, guys, just fail miraculously in your attempt to compete, to train, to coach, whatever it is. But because in that process, there are valuable things that cannot be learned without action. So don't let that fear, being one emotion of many, that pull you back, right? And it was just something that hit home with me. And I think in this day and age, we're all too often way too nice, way too politically correct to truly understand how important it is to reflect on your feelings before we act. And I also think it usually doesn't go both ways, right? It's like, well, if this is how you feel, then it's okay. Again, there's two sides to every coin, right? You can feel a lot of things in one moment that are really not okay for you to really act on, but when you sit down, you reflect and think about it, you take that deep breath and you realize, okay, I'm not going to have this interaction with this person because it's the right choice, right? And I'm sure we've all had that opportunity. We've all done that before, right? And because emotions are powerful. So something I want to hit you guys with, again, the takeaway here, in the world from, what you guys probably do day in, day out, whether it's working out, whether it's, coaching, I want you to do things that make you nervous, that make you afraid, but the key word is do. You need to act, right? Like inspiration, inspiration is useful on a good day, but what happens on a bad day? What happens when you don't listen to that inspiration? What happens when you don't have it? That's when action matters. That's when you need to push those shitty feelings down and just push and act. That's when I don't care about what other people think really matters, because no one's there to look at you, to watch you, to judge you. You're alone. No one's around you. That's when it matters. Because if you are doing that, then you really don't care what other people think. But I'll be honest with you. It's other people that motivate me sometimes, and I'm not afraid to say it. Because I tell people what I'm going to do, what I stand for. So when I need motivation, I think, man, I've committed to this. I need to act on it because my word is all I have, right? Wherever your motivation comes from, you need to pull from it when no one's watching, and it doesn't have to be this intrinsic altruistic push. Whatever it might be, let it drive you and push you when no one is watching. Trick yourself to think that everybody is, if that's what you need on certain days.